Formula One is a tense sport, and there's always been incidents that either put a strain on the drivers themselves on the Grand Prix or become legendary and people talk about them for years afterwards. So today, we'll take a look at several of F1's most disrespectful moments, and believe me, there are some here that would make your hair straighten. Barichello, Schumacher, 2002 Austrian Grand Prix. Michael Schumacher, having already secured 2 world championships with Ferrari, began the 2002 season impressively, winning 4 of the first 5 races. However, during the 6th round in Austria, his teammate Rubens Barrichello was poised to claim his first victory of the year. Ferrari intervened, instructing Barrichello to let Schumacher pass for the win. Barrichello complied, leading to Schumacher's victory and the outrage of the attending fans. The podium ceremony that followed was uncomfortable, as Schumacher insisted Barrichello take the top step. The team faced significant backlash for orchestrating Schumacher's win so early in the season. In response, team orders were banned after the race. However, the FIA relaxed these rules after another controversial order involving Alonso and Felipe Massa in 2010. Spygate scandal. The 2007 Formula One season featured an exciting title battle between Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton and Kimi Raikkonen, with Raikkonen ultimately emerging as the champion. However, the season was largely overshadowed by the Spygate scandal, in which the FIA discovered that McLaren possessed confidential information about Ferrari's car. The controversy lasted several months before the FIA fined McLaren $100 million, still the largest fine in sports history. The Woking-based team was disqualified from the Constructors' Championship, and its 2008 chassis was ordered to be submitted to the FIA for scrutiny before the season. Alonso and Hamilton retained their championship points, but the internal rivalry and scandal led Alonso to leave the team after just 1 season. 2021 British Grand Prix. Few rivalries on the grid match the intensity of Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. In 2021, their feud escalated dramatically with a 180-mile-per-hour collision at Copse Corner. This marked the first time that year a battle between the two ended in a crash. Max crashed heavily into the barriers and was taken to the hospital for precautionary checks. Lewis received a 10-second penalty, but still won the race by overtaking Ferrari's Charles Leclerc. Red Bull's Christian Horner accused Hamilton of dirty driving, fueling the debate about racing etiquette. Max criticised Lewis's behaviour on X, stating, "Watching the celebrations while still in hospital is disrespectful and unsportsmanlike." But we move on. 2022 Brazilian Grand Prix. At the 2022 Brazilian Grand Prix, Red Bull Racing instructed Verstappen to let Perez pass to help Perez in his battle for second place in the Drivers' Championship. However, Verstappen refused to comply with the team order and did not allow Perez to pass, stating how he apparently had his reasons. It's almost certain that this was a revenge for the crash of Perez in Monaco that same year, which saw the Mexican start in front of Verstappen and eventually win the race. This incident caused tension within the team and led to criticism of Verstappen's decision. Perez expressed his disappointment over the radio, highlighting the sacrifice he had made for Verstappen in previous races, notably helping him secure his first World Championship in 2021. The situation sparked discussions about team orders and driver cooperation, especially considering Red Bull's usual dominance and teamwork strategy. 2007 Hungarian Grand Prix. Friction between Alonso and Hamilton came to a head during a dramatic qualifying session for the 2007 Hungarian Grand Prix, which set in motion a series of events that ultimately led to the Spaniard's exit from McLaren following a bust-up with Ron Dennis. Coming in to change tyres for the final runs in Q3, Alonso was the first of the 2 McLarens into the box to be fitted with his new set. Waved off by the lollipop man as the seconds ticked by, Alonso didn't move off, instead sitting there for 10 seconds while his team frantically tried to signal him to move, as Hamilton was sitting directly behind awaiting his tyres. Alonso would cross the line to start his final flying lap with just 2 seconds to spare before the checkered flag, while Hamilton would miss out on his final run. The effect of this was that Alonso took pole position with his final lap, with Hamilton dropping down to second after being quickest on the initial run. The result left team boss Ron Dennis incandescent with rage as he stormed down the pit wall to find Alonso's assistant and berate him, in what became famous footage as the civil war at McLaren became public knowledge. Alonso would later be given a 5-place grid penalty for the incident, dropping him down to 6th on the grid. Schumacher's deliberate crashes. Michael Schumacher is undoubtedly one of the greatest drivers in Formula 1 history, with 7 world titles and 91 wins to his name. However, he was not above using robust tactics on the track to gain an advantage at crucial moments, often operating in a grey area of the rules. The first of Schumacher's high-profile incidents occurred during the 1994 season at Adelaide. In a fiercely contested title battle with Damon Hill, Schumacher led by a single point. During the race, Schumacher went off the track and hit the wall, possibly damaging his suspension. As Hill attempted to pass him at the next corner, Schumacher cut him off, causing a collision that sent Schumacher into the wall and left Hill with a broken wishbone. Despite the efforts of Williams' technical director Patrick Head to repair Hill's car, the title slipped away from Hill, handing Schumacher his first championship. 3 years later, in 1997, Schumacher was involved in another controversial incident, this time with Jacques Villeneuve at the Jerez circuit. As Villeneuve made a move down the inside of Schumacher at the dry stack corner, Schumacher turned into Villeneuve's car, attempting a broadside strike. Schumacher ended up in the gravel, while Villeneuve continued and finished in the points to secure the title. The FIA disqualified Schumacher from the entire 1997 season for this maneuver. 9 years later, Schumacher employed similar tactics in his 2006 title fight with Fernando Alonso. During qualifying for the Monaco Grand Prix, Schumacher set a time good enough for pole position and then stopped his car at the Rascasse corner, effectively blocking Alonso from completing his hot lap. Schumacher claimed he had simply locked up, but the FIA determined that it was a deliberate move to secure pole position at a circuit notoriously difficult for overtaking. Consequently, Schumacher was demoted to the back of the grid. These incidents highlight Schumacher's willingness to push the boundaries of fair play in pursuit of victory, which remains a controversial aspect of his otherwise stellar career. 1990 Japanese Grand Prix. In 1990, Ayrton Senna was still racing for McLaren, while Alain Prost had moved to Ferrari. Their rivalry had already reached a boiling point the previous year, and it reignited leading up to the 1990 Japanese Grand Prix. Both drivers were once again vying for the World Championship, and Suzuka's challenging overtaking conditions meant that whoever led after the first turn was likely to win the race. Senna secured pole position and started on the right side of the grid, while Prost qualified second and started on the left. The right side of the track was dirty, whereas the left side was clean. Senna wanted to switch his pole position to the cleaner side of the track, but the FIA denied his request, leaving him furious. In response, Senna declared he wouldn't lift off into the first corner regardless of the circumstances. So, knowing that a retirement for Prost would secure the championship for him, Senna made a bold and aggressive move at the start, colliding with Prost and taking them both out of the race. After the race, Senna said that it was an unfortunate incident, only to change his statement a few years later, saying that it was revenge for the previous year. But nevertheless, it became a legendary moment in F1 history. 2021 Belgian Grand Prix. In the midst of a heated title battle between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, F1 arrived at the famed Spa-Francorchamps for the 12th round of the season. Heavy rainfall during qualifying led to a major crash for Lando Norris at Eau Rouge. The rain intensified on race day, causing multiple delays to the start. After over 3 hours of delays and suspended starts, the race finally began under the safety car. However, after just 3 laps, the race was called off and half points were awarded, with Verstappen declared the winner. This event marked the shortest race in F1 history, as the result was determined by a 2-lap countback in compliance with the regulations. Like other controversial moments, it put F1 in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Crashgate, 2008 Singapore Grand Prix. The controversy surrounding the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix officially came to light a year after the event. During the race, Nelson Piquet Jr. crashed, prompting a safety car deployment immediately after his teammate Fernando Alonso had pitted. Alonso went on to win the race, securing Renault's first of 2 victories that year. However, after Piquet Jr. was dropped by the team midway through the 2009 season, he revealed to the FIA that he had been instructed by his team to crash deliberately. Initially, Renault indicated it would pursue a criminal case against Piquet Jr., but soon after, they announced that team principal Flavio Briatore had left the team. The FIA issued a lifetime ban to Briatore for his role in orchestrating the crash, while chief engineer Pat Simmons received a 5-year ban. However, in 2010, the Tribunal de Grande Instance overturned the bans. 2005 US Grand Prix. The 2005 United States Grand Prix delivered a significant blow to Formula One's presence in the American market, a setback only recovered in the last few years. At that time, F1 had two tyre suppliers, Michelin and Bridgestone. The high-speed banking of the final corner at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway's road course placed enormous stress on the Michelin tyres, leading to dramatic blowouts during the weekend. On Sunday, all cars started the formation lap, but after failing to implement a chicane at the final corner, the 14 Michelin shod cars retired to the pits. This left only 6 cars on the starting grid, the Ferraris, Jordans and Minardis. Ferrari easily secured a 1-2 finish, while Thiago Monteiro achieved his first and only podium in F1. So that's going to do it for today. Let us know your thoughts about these scandalous moments in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.